I was raised in the Toronto area. It's probably
Yep.
the easiest place to locate in Canada, and from a Christian home, very privileged to have Christian parents and a very faithful church, right? And it was a Reformed Baptist church that held to the great doctrines of grace. And my pastor, Bill Payne, who was from Liverpool, England,
Hmm.
and he came over to Canada, was a great John Owen fan.
Ah.
And that's my father bought all of the from the Banner of Truth versions of John Owen. I know Crossway is redoing those, but I had the John Owen, and then my dad gave me all those volumes, and so I was taught Calvin, Owen, and the entire Reformed tradition just as a child. And then was converted, at 16, and then went to college in the United States. Did a science degree as an undergrad because I thought it was actually my mother who recommended that if you're going to go to seminary, sort of broaden your academic
Yep.
horizon. And I thought
Yep.
I would do science, and then went to Trinity Evangelical Divinity School, did a master's doctorate there. As I finished up my doctorate in the mid 90s, pastored
Hmm.
in South Dakota. That was
Ah.
way in rural South Dakota. It was one of the best experiences of my life, and training me to be a seminary professor. I don't know. I mean, sometimes you have seminary professors that don't have exact pastoral experience,
Sure.
but it's hard to really train seminary students without that. So that was 4 years there, and then 3 years on the west coast of Canada, teaching at Trinity Western University, part of the Evangelical Free Church. There was a whole association of seminaries there, and I was hired by the Fellowship Baptists of Canada,
Hmm.
and then came to Southern in 1999. Been married to my wife Karen. Once I graduated from college in 1985, we got married, and we have 5 children. They're all grown, and 5 grandchildren. And in my spare time, I like to run, do biking,
Hmm.
cycling, and
Hmm.
and read and all those kind of things. So that's a little bit about me. And I don't know if you want anything more, but that gives a bit more, a bit sort of the history and
But
background.
I do have a nerdy question. And since you have I'm assuming it's a 16 volume have you read the entire set of John Owen from Banner of
No,
True
no,
Publishing?
no, no. I've
That is
probably
a
read
hefty
about half
series.
of them, because I read Christology and Pneumatology
Sure.
and
It's big
Communion with
ones. Yep.
God and Mortification of Sin and all of those. But
Mhm.
I have them there. Obviously, you use books often as resources, but
Sure.
I remember reading this. This will be an interesting story for you. As I was doing my doctorate, just finishing up, we had our first child,
Uh-huh.
and we lived in a funeral home
Huh.
in the Chicago area.
Hmm.
And our son Joel, he was sort of colicky. He had sort of days and nights
Oh,
mixed up. So I
yeah.
was trying to do a paper on John Owen's view of Scripture,
Uh-huh.
and so I had him in a snuggly, trying to calm him down in the early morning and reading John Owen, trying to get prepared for my paper.
I like
There you
it.
go.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's what you got to do as a parent sometimes. Yep. Baby one hand, book in the other.
Hmm.
Um,
that's exactly right.